talk about this amazing new experience, process cleanup store in the Omniverse City. Bruce, how are you today?
Awesome. It's good morning if you're in Pacific or Mountain Standard Time with the spring forward, and 1, 2 p.m. in the other zones in the USA, and 7 p.m. at night if I have anyone from the UK, which I know I invited. So glad to be here, and I think we're going to just dive straight into, why would we do this, right?
Exactly. And just to break down a little bit, and for those of you who are watching in YouTube or on Facebook Live or later on in LinkedIn, you will be able to click the link that we'll be dropping to come into this event space here. This is a lounge that we've created for Bruce and his audience so that if you are brand new to the metaverse, you can come somewhere that's, you'll hear the term a lot in the news and in media and in social media, Web 2.5. AirMeet is really a Web 2.5 platform because it allows you the flexibility and control of going to new places. Whereas, like if you think about a website, which is a traditional Web 2 experience, it's very limited. A lot of the platforms have specific rules. So the more control you have, the more you're moving down that rabbit hole. And then, of course, when we talk about Web 3 and the metaverse, we'll be going there today. So this is very interactive. And whether you're here live or you're coming later, we will have ways for you to also be involved. So, Bruce, let's get started and talk a little bit about this journey. We met a few months ago. What was it that put the metaverse on your radar?
Well, thanks for collaborating. So, first of all, it was through connection to collaboration, and it was through Dr. Christy Nguyen, bless her heart. And I know she's traveling, so we may or may not see her. And so, yeah, I had been hearing a little bit about the metaverse, and at that time, I was absolutely totally confused about what it was. And after a couple of sessions with you, then what I got to see that is in alignment with what I always try and do with my clients and collaborators, and that is to help people understand the power of what I call a one place communication. And what I mean by one place communication is, can you go somewhere to save a lot of time, but have a lot of options to do what you want to do? And fast forward in our collaboration, we ended up creating 3 spaces, which people are going to be able to see. And we ended up with spaces called Connect and Shop and Play. So we'll come back to that. But so I guess my one place communication is kind of split up into 3 rooms or 3 spaces, as it were. And the whole point about when you can do that is you can save a lot of time. Time is the only non-recyclable commodity that we have on the planet. And particularly if you're dealing with a group or a big team, if they can just save a minute per day, you can do the multiple. And that was it. And then a little bit more later on in our conversations, I realized that there was going to be an emergence in new technology. And I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do something new starting this year, I wanted it to have the flexibility and capability to bring on board all of the new technologies without me having to go all the way back through and redesign again, because redesigning is it's basically rework. And I don't like rework. So those were the main points, and here we are getting ready to let people see a little bit more about what we've done.
Yeah, and you bring up some great points, and you're very intuitive because the metaverse is all about scalability and getting ready for the future and sustainability and inclusivity. These are not buzzwords. These are, reasons why people do what we do. And, they're really important things to research. If you look about almost anything, you talked about time being a great commodity. We spend so much time on Zoom calls, but I talk about spaces like this. You could do 100 to 1, even 1,000 to 1, 10,000 to 1 communication. But
Mm-hmm.
unlike regular Facebook Live where, or even a live stream, a lot of people talk about StreamYard, you can see that live stream happening, but you can't necessarily participate and you can't really jump in. So today we're
Mm-hmm.
going to show you how you can actually jump in, see a part of it. We're going to, in a few minutes, where after we do the walkthrough and show you a little bit about what's going on, we're going to take a break. We're going to let everyone go and try it for themselves. And I'll be
Right.
sitting at a table helping people. So this is very different than a traditional live stream because you get to immediately implement what you're learning. And as somebody who does this coaching and consulting for a living, Bruce, how important is like immediate implementation of a new skill?
Yeah, so I'm glad you raised that. I have a number of different processes. Sometimes I call them a sprint. Sometimes it's a just go do it, right? And the just go do it or the sprints are a great way for people to kind of dip their toe in the water, kind of like what we're doing today. Revealing today is dip your toe in the water and see what this whole thing called the metaverse is all about. But I also want to add that my specialty is working with up and coming leaders, and I seem to be particularly good at working with up and coming lady leaders. So that was another piece about the future. Um, I like to be very inclusive and very diverse. I'm actually a live stream host, and if you go look at the people I interview, you'll see that I'm able to prove that. But more importantly, I wanted to make sure that people had an opportunity to see something that is right now, the right time, so that they don't get left behind. And a few months ago, I was feeling like I was being left behind. People were talking about all this new stuff, and I had absolutely no clue what it meant. And I know that there's also a tendency in a lot of new product developments to be more kind of male centric or male orientated. So I really want to make sure that it was more of an equal platform. So that's a passion of mine, making it an equal platform. And again, particularly for up and coming leaders, if I can pass on one thing from what I've done in the past, then I love to do that, right? And our up and coming leaders are, that's what it's going to be all about. People in the generation below me, and even the generation two levels below me. That's to me, that's super critical. So long story.
No, it's not. It's a great story. And, this has been like a train the trainers flip, right? Like sometimes in
Right,
this experience, you've been, teaching me and coaching me on, okay, Charlene, but this needs to be simpler, faster, and better. And then we had to work towards that together. And to your point earlier, because the tools in the metaverse are so flexible, they're so
right,
modular, we were able to just make changes that you wouldn't be able to do with a website, at least not without a six-figure budget. Let's
right.
get real, right? You don't want to break the bank to prove a point. And what we've done here with the Omniverse City is we've really cracked the code of the metaverse. We've made it accessible to all. If you look at early emergences of metaverse development, you see people dropping, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in these spaces, and a lot of it was exploratory. And we knew
Right.
if we were going to help someone like you do this, we couldn't make it, that much of an investment to explore. But in that interim, in that flipping back and forth, tell me what you've learned, because usually you're the teacher and you've probably, stepped outside of your comfort zone here. What was your expectation, or like, what were you expecting to this experience to be like coming in? And, what is it now looking in hindsight? Talk to me a
Right.
little bit about that.
Well, teachers aren't always the best students, that's for sure. And I know I had to learn to put the student hat on. And so I think that the key things for me is I was at a high state of confusion. I was really confused about knowing the terms, but the new language. And you kept saying to me, well, conceptually, we could do this and this and this. And I'd say, well, explain that to me simpler, faster, better. I don't get it, Charlene. You're way in front of where I am. So I think the state of mind went from total confusion to getting a few little aha moments. And from those aha moments, our drive was that the core of everything I do is about trying to end up simpler, faster, better. And the way that you get there is saving massive amounts of steps, time, and money. So what you and I went through, we went through that iterative or that development process. You don't realize that that's what we maybe went through, but that's what we went through.
Oh, of
And
course.
so and so now, when we get to show people the store, it's purposely simple. It's on
Mhm.
purpose, kind of bare bones, because we want people to also give their input on, what would they like to see there, and why would they like to see certain things. So kind of, yeah, it's right timing, right place, learning rapidly, and you can ask whatever you want. I mean, we don't always have the answers. Like, when I would say, or Caitlin and I would say to you, because I had some help from Caitlin, hey, what about doing this, this, and this? And you'd say, you know what, that's a great question, let me go off and research it. And you did. That's the other thing, making sure that people do what they say they're going to do, and then come back and say, well, I can't really do this, but I could offer this. That was very refreshing to be able to get solutions, not always exactly as my brain may have seen them or foreseen them, but we came up with solutions, and that's key.
Yeah,
So
and we have Caitlin with us. Caitlin was a part of this journey, and it was really fun to have her along for the ride because she was like this third party who is an expert in marketing. And she was, even though she's really well invested in the marketing world, this was new for her as well. So, Caitlin, thank you for joining us. Can't wait
yay.
to have some of your feedback later. So, kind of coming back to when we met, you're going to hear me a lot in just my general, you guys see me all over the place in social media. You'll be seeing me a lot more, and I'll be talking very specifically about timing. You just talked about it.
Right.
And if you want to really understand timing and why it's important right now, understand that you have three choices right now as a human being when it comes to timing. You could be early, you could be late, or you can be on time. Now, the
Right.
time to be early in the metaverse is over. There's no more
Mhm.
early. Early was, 6 months ago and before. Now,
Mhm.
if you're here, you're on time, and in 6 months to a year, you're probably going to be late, because everybody who was late, because if you're a leader in the industry, if you're a part of infrastructure in the world, you're late. Okay. If you were supposed to be here building building blocks and you blew it off because you thought Decentraland was a toy and that the metaverse wouldn't be real, you're late. So you're going to see those big companies racing to catch up. And it's going to make it harder and harder for that early advantage. Now, you were early when we
Yes.
met. Now you're right on time. I mean, when we first met, how many times had you heard the word metaverse? Probably not many. And now, talk to me a little bit about, like, just because you were in it, and you know how, like, when you hear a word for the first time and you hear it everywhere, talk to me a little bit about that serendipity.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, I didn't realize I was that early because, again, I was confused. But now I know I was really that early. Then the thing that has gone from being early in the metaverse to being on time, that timeline is so short. So the other, one of my key lessons learned is that, if you, to quote an English phrase, if you dilly dally around today and don't start to look at this thing called the metaverse, then you will be quickly late.
And
So that's part of why I wanted to do this kind of event in a community style. I wanted people to understand the story. I wanted people to understand the journey I've been on with you and with Caitlin's help and many, many other people's help, that they don't even realize that they've had input to this already. But so being able to show something that is on time and giving people the option in the next couple of weeks ahead to get exclusive access to basically go play around. I mean, look at the amount of playing around we had to do to even get where we are today. So yeah, I think offering something for people to see that is on time, so they're not late, is humanly good to do. But more importantly, I don't know about you, but I hate waiting in line and I hate being late. So, so if you're driven like I am, not to wait in line and not to waste time and not to be late, then this is the perfect time to, get confused, go explore, go through some of the things that we've done together. And again, with Caitlin's third party help, she asked some great questions about, well, what is this, what about that, and so she kept us grounded. So thank you, and thank you
yeah,
for everyone that's
absolutely.
joined so far.
And we talk a lot about use cases, but what we're going to do right now, since we have just a few more minutes before we take our break and let you explore, is I'm going to dive in. I'm going to open up my screen and
Sure,
I'm going
go
to
for it.
share what we've built together. And then we could just kind of talk it through with the audience. But let me just open it up here. So, for those of you who have never been into the Omniverse City, you're just going to go to the Omniverse.city. Now, you may not want to go in now because you may just want to watch us, but this is the link. I'm dropping it in the feed. So you can go and go to step one, which is creating your avatar. Now, I have tons of avatars here. I have an 8-year-old, so I get lots of avatars. He loves making avatars. And this is actually a fun thing to do with like your family. It's very interesting to see how people express themselves. And this is my new lady. I was advised by a good friend of mine that as a metaverse influencer, I may want to have a main chick. So this is my main chick. But you can have multiple avatars. You may have your party avatar, and you may have your shopping avatar and your hanging out avatar, and they could be like representative of all these different aspects of yourself, which is really a lot of fun. And
Hmm.
it's just talk to me a little bit about the fun aspect of this, Bruce. Oh, and you know what? I want to take people directly to your store.
Yeah,
So
let's go to the
go ahead
store.
and
Sure.
talk about that while I pull this up because I want to go directly to your store. I don't want to go through the back end.
Sure.
So
And
I'm gonna share
yeah,
my
so
screen.
the first piece of fun is figuring out through Real Player Me how to build your own avatar. It took me the first time again, I was so confused. I got frustrated at it. So bad student, but I stepped away from it, and then the next time I went back and actually they'd made some improvements, I was able to figure out how to go in, make a little custom avatar. So that was fun. And the other cool thing, as I understand it, because you're using a leading edge avatar creator, Real Player Me, that avatar functionality is going to be available into the future. So think about it this way: if you have fun and get frustrated like I did, and you can still make your avatar. The avatar is there to use for whoever can support Real Player Me. So don't forget that. That's a time saving thing. So I'll let Charlene jump. And then we decided through all the things that I wanted to showcase now and into the future, we decided to break the store up into 3 sections. Connect, which is the first section you go to, as you can see. Whoa, look at that. What was that, Charlene?
So yes, that's a new effect that we've added. So just to come back to a few things that you've said, and we're not here to talk about all of the development of the Omniverse City. That's a whole another
Right, that's a
conversation.
different
But
thing.
we did choose Ready Player Me as our current avatar system. We're also integrating with MetaHumans. We are avatar agnostic. So that
Hmm.
means that if you build an avatar some other way, even if you're an avatar creation company, we are interoperable. So we're happy to work with you. But right now, Ready Player Me is the easiest, most frictionless way
It
to
is.
create an avatar and to use it. Spatial is up and coming. You're going to see all sorts of collaborations with Ready Player Me, like L'Oreal and all these other brands. So we just wanted to use an avatar creation system that would set our audience, which is primarily going to be Web 2 and Web 2.5 natives, and a little bit of the Web 3 natives. We wanted to give them an opportunity to use an avatar that they could create here and then use somewhere else.
Right.
So you heard
Yeah.
Bruce talk about connect, shop, and play. When you come into Bruce's store, the first thing you do is you come to the connect zone. Now, I'm going to walk through a little bit and show you what each thing is. But Bruce, do you want to kind of talk me through where to go? And then I'll just control the avatar and take her where
Yeah.
you'd like to show
So
everyone.
sure. So let's go to the screen at the end of the room. And again, this was an interesting function because what you'll notice, whoops, as soon as you arrive at that pad in front of the screen, it prompts you to want to do something. So press E to interact, and it's that simple. And what will come up is a little introduction video from me.
And I'm not sure if everyone can hear it, but I'll play it anyway, just so they can get
Sure.
the sense of, the experience.
Yeah, they're not going to hear it, but basically, I'm just welcoming people. And again, this is the flexibility. You can have any dynamic link to that screen, and as you'll see from the end of the video, this power of being in one place, you can then very quickly go to my schedule to actually create an opportunity to talk with me one-on-one. So not only do you get introduced to me very quickly, and you can also connect. So the call to action is pretty quick. So under connect, my technical legacy is pretty well documented. On the right hand side of Charlene's avatar, you'll see there's actually a textbook there. That textbook is basically the foundation of everything that I do using my method simpler, faster, better. So it can be purchased or rented. So that's the textbook. So no need to actually go more deeper than that, because again, people can see. And then if you come along the wall the other way, Charlene, to the no, not that one, to the fix it journal. So other side. That's it. There we go. There we go. So over Charlene's left shoulder, you'll see there's also a fix it journal here. And this got created because number one, I saw a gap in the marketplace because there aren't a lot of journals out there that are kind of leaning towards the way that a gentleman or a man or a boy might think. So this is designed around their thinking. But more importantly, this Fix It journal is an implementation tool or an execution tool when we do a sprint or when we do a just go do it process improvement with just going to do it. And it also connects into another part of my world, which is I reward myself with simple pleasures. So in the Fix It journal, there's not only 26 fast tips on how to go make things better, but there's 52 little self rewards that don't involve money. So they're the simple pleasures. And then if you come on the other side of the wall in the Connect room, on this side, I was very fortunate to work with Lisa Riggs, and we created a pair of socks that are not only company branded, but this connects to my profit, a nonprofit that I'm very passionate about. A lot of people don't know, but I have a very rare eye condition called X-linked retinoschisis, which is actually the throwback to how I met you, Charlene. We're both passionate about eye health. But more importantly, for the pairs of socks that are purchased, then a donation goes back to the National Institute of Health, Bethesda, Maryland, who are doing a research study on how to actually not only prevent, but help people with the condition like me to be able to see better. They're not there yet. So that's kind of a little bit about connecting all of my different worlds together. My technical world, my nonprofit world, and just being passionate about getting simple process improvements done. So
Now, just some quick housekeeping tips, because I'm sure you all are going to want to jump in there and, do this for yourself. There's a couple ways to navigate. The first is really simple. For instance, I might want to go into this little cubby over here. And if I'm new to navigating, I might not know how to navigate around the corner. So I could just double click on that floor and then my avatar will walk there. Super, super simple. Now, you
awesome.
might see me moving the screen around with ease. It does take some time, so I don't want to make it seem like it's super easy. But after one or two tries, you should get it. So what I'm doing right now to change my perspective is I'm clicking the screen and I'm dragging it at a horizontal level. I try not to go up and down because then I'll get confused and my avatar will go upside down like that. But if I just keep it at a waist level and I drag it to my right and my left, I can easily look around. So
Yeah.
Bruce, do you want to talk about this section that we're in here?
Yeah, so the shop section is somewhat of a repeat to the Connect because they're interrelated. All of my products have come from all the work that I do. But if you could go to if you go to the end screen, and then we'll come back to the kiosk because I want to show people a different part of technology that we figured out. So here on the end screen, this is kind of the full up. More it's very flexible, but it's a more in demand, sorry, not more in demand, it's a more in-depth version of doing process cleanup. So it's how to get to sign up for an introductory module 1, which is actually complimentary. And then the rest of the modules are purchased. But the key thing is that 40 plus years of how I do process improvements are all in those 6 modules. And most of the standard tools that are used are in those 6 modules. And it's self-paced, self-learning. It's a combination of online and working one-on-one with me. So that's kind of the big heavyweight product, as it were, that I offer. And that's typically offered to small teams of people. And that way it becomes a lot more cost effective per team member as well. But an individual can do it as well. No problem with
Well,
that.
and with remote work being a thing, I would imagine this being amazing. But I just want to talk about this for a minute because this was not a part of the original Omniverse City roadmap. One
It
of the things,
wasn't.
Bruce, that you and Caitlin, one of your requirements was an area that you could customize. And this is
Yes.
actually an integration with your website. So any changes that you and Caitlin make will happen live right here whenever somebody comes to visit you. So if you
Right.
ever want to come and visit Bruce's latest website updates, you'll still be able to visit him there and see what's new on his actual website.
Right. And then if you turn around and go to the kiosk, so the kiosk is, as I understand it, the first use of also integrated technology with your platform. And this actually goes to, so Dr. Christine Nguyen and I have been collaborating. She is a leader with a company called Rodan and Fields. And this is actually interactive, and they use AI technology using the camera on your phone. But basically, you can go here and you can follow the form that you need to fill out. And after a couple more steps, you take some pictures of yourself, and it will actually recommend to you a couple of things. It will recommend to you maybe what might be the best product to look after your hair or the health of your hair. And more importantly, skincare. So, and again, this is here, you might think, well, Bruce, why would you have a kiosk with skincare in it? Well, this is because a lot of my clients love to look good, feel good. And in my terms, I say it's about living life young daily. That's a choice. So you can choose if you want to live life young daily. And part of living life young daily is to look the best you can look, right? Or for some people it is. Some people don't care, but most people like to look the best they can look. So
Well, and an important point about this particular store is all of these resources exist outside of the store. But
yeah.
obviously, if somebody's going to take the time to create an avatar and explore your store, they love technology. And how
Hmm.
cool is it that they don't have to go to the Roden and Fields website, find your link, discover the little, I mean, they're going to expect something interactive when they see
Right.
this kiosk. If I saw that quiz, I might not take it on a regular website because I might think, oh, you're just trying to take my information. But if I see this kiosk, I'm going to say, I wonder what's going to happen if I enter this information. If you surprise me with an AR driven app that takes my picture and recommends skincare for me, I'm going to be super excited about that.
Yeah.
So do you
So
want to go over to the play area and then we can give everyone a
yeah.
break and let them kind of take their tour around the store?
Right. So the play area, there's just one interactive. It's a spinning wheel, like the Wheel of Fortune. Um, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can click on there, and it allows you to earn favors or rewards or further opportunities to connect with me. And this room is purposely left empty right now, other than the spinning wheel, because this room will be where I want to encourage collaboration with other people that might have playful items. So, for instance, I recently visited a brick and mortar virtual reality store where they had all sorts of activities, games, meeting spaces. And what was really interesting is the owners also own a daycare, childcare next door to it, which is all about learning through play. So those are some examples, immediately I can think of that where I'd like to collaborate with people that have playful things or playful activities, or they might have play products that, they feel are a great fit for them to partner with me in this playroom without having to go through all of the activities that we had to do to get here. So simpler, faster, better way to collaborate and play with me. So
You bring up such an amazing point, Bruce. And we talk about monetization in the metaverse all the time, but I think monetization is just an end result of collaboration. We
right,
talk about phygital, and what you just talked about is a perfect utility of phygital. Maybe I'm an owner of a physical space and I just have absolutely no desire to spend the time to learn about how to
right,
build a metaverse store, but I could partner with Bruce and I could say, hey, here's some of my products and services that I'd be willing to collaborate on. And those collaborations will obviously lead to business and more rewarding experiences. And the Omniverse City encourages this because the more that we have, visionaries like Bruce and his community, very large community, coming in to take advantage of this space, the more fun it's going to be for everyone. And that's just,
right.
it's like, I can't even tell you how rewarding that is for me. And Bruce, I could just tell based on this conversation we're having now versus when this started and the smile on your face that, isn't this exciting?
It's very different. I'm still trying to pinch myself and say, did we really do this from from a few email notes to where we are now? And hey, it's some
Was it
people may
hard?
say, well, Bruce, it's too basic, but hey, it's basic for a reason. And the other reason is that after you've had chance to explore in the next 10 minutes or so, if you've got ideas on what you think would be a great fit, then please let us know. If you've got things that you think are dumb or we did something that's really dumb, then please let us know that too. But anyway, so it's just a time to, connect, play, shop, connect, shop, play, whichever way you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. Our feelings won't be hurt. Put it that way, because it's
So,
new.
was this hard, Bruce? Was this hard to do?
It was actually harder on me to unconfuse myself than all the things that you did. so, so
Right,
it
but I think
start
a lot of people feel like it's gonna be very time consuming and they're gonna have to go build stuff and provide. I mean, the
no.
content that you had to provide me was very minimal. Most of it was on your website, and with Caitlin's help, it was more of a hands-free metaverse development is a dream, okay?
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate you for letting me walk you through this because I learned a lot. And the Omniverse City was really in its early development when you started. So it was a lot of your experience that helped me to make decisions in the platform in general to just make it accessible for everyone. So
Right.
anyone can do this, right, Bruce? Any age does not matter, young or old, in between does not matter. Anyone can do this, right?
And any location, because that was the other big piece about my why, because my passion is following IndyCar, and this season I want to follow as many car races as I can. So I don't want to have to be stuck in Arizona to do what I do best. I want to be able to do it from wherever I choose to do it from, but still provide great service and great quality and great support. So again, the fact that this can be anywhere on the planet, independent of where you might be, that's a really big issue for me. And it may not be for some people might just always want to go to their workstation, a set location, and don't travel very much. But if you want to travel, if you want to go explore, if you want to go learn, prosper, and grow every day like I do, and if you want to go follow your passion for IndyCar racing and maybe have some IndyCar stuff in the store, why not?
We will have an IndyCar race game before long. I promise you
We
that.
will.
So
Yeah.
we will be taking a break so that everyone can do their own metaverse moonwalk. And I'll be sitting at the table. Just so you know, when we end this session, you'll see the tables again like you did when you first came in. I'll be at table one. So feel free to go explore. Bruce, did you have anything left to sign off?
No, I will wait, and I'll be there if in case any specific questions about my experience and my journey so far have come up to help.
Well,
So thank you.
congratulations, Bruce and Caitlin, and thank you for making this a fun experience for us and my team. And we'll see you guys in a little bit. Go have fun exploring. Go, go, go.
Yeah, come back with